manifestations of this basic energy disharmony. And so it goes up the levels from the human up through eventually to this schism energy. And all these things are manifestations within the decoded holographic world of the state of disharmony of this energetic schism, which has affected life in this reality, this part of it anyway, so fundamentally. So you have these reptilian entities, I'm sure other entities too, but the reptilian thing keeps coming up, who take over the thought process and mental processes. And we see the human when we decode that energy field of human, but behind it is something looking very different. Someone sent me this picture. It may be just a play of the light, but it's symbolic of what so many people see. Some people see full body shifts. Talk to those people all around the world. But what seems to be the common theme more than anything is the eye shift, where they take on a reptilian type straight down pupil instead of the round one of the human, very much symbolized by this. And a few weeks ago, a scientist friend of mine called me and said he'd been chatting to an acquaintance of his who's just been doing, I don't agree with it, but he's just been doing research into iris scan technology, which led him to look very closely at 2,300 eyes as part of this research. And his friend didn't know anything about my stuff at all. He was just in a conversation, and he said that around 4% of the eyes that he looked at very closely appeared to be of reptilian type and appearance, which is maybe about the percentage we're looking at. Someone sent me this with Father George Bush. I don't know, I think that's, again, a play on the light, almost certainly, but so symbolic, because I know a number of people have seen this guy shift. There's a magazine, it's called 40 Times or something. A few years ago, they ran this front page picture, taking the mick out of me. And I said, thank you very much. That's just very symbolic. I love that. Thanks very much. And so, you find a few of these pictures on the internet now as it gets around. Hey, there you go. And one of the things that I've looked at very closely over the years, particularly towards the end of the 80s and early across 2000 and so, are the mind control projects and the satanic ritual abuse projects to help people who've been through that. And the number of times when people have been through satanic ritual abuse and all the rest of it, that they talk about in reptilian terms about what they experienced. And these were some pictures drawn by someone who went through satanic ritual abuse of the kind of things that she remembers from what happened in the rituals. And again, the reason the therapist sent these to me, with the person's permission, of course, was because she was constantly drawing reptilian imagery, because that's what she experienced in the ritual. And if you remember Rosemary's Baby, that film of the 60s, which was directed by Roman Polanski, and shall we say he should bloody know, with Mia Farrow, and she was manipulated by a satanic family to be impregnated, to give birth to this child, and at the end of the movie, when you saw briefly the child in the crib, which was a hybrid, it had reptilian eyes very clearly. And like I say, Roman Polanski should know. So this theme of possession goes way, way back through history, and it's possession through, overwhelmingly in this case, vibrational compatibility because of this interbreeding. There you go. Good old tone. So, what they're talking about him being the first president of Europe now. Crikey, it gets worse, doesn't it? Mr. Fake Smile, Mr. Fake Emotion. One of the things I've noticed about these people, and when I was in the Green Party years ago in Britain, I saw a number of British politicians close up, and you see their dark eyes, and you see something else. Their eyes and their face don't talk the same language, as I call it. It's funny how people are famous or infamous for their massive smile, like Obama and Blair. But when you see the big smile, look at the eyes. Hillary Clinton's a classic. The big smile, the eyes never smile. Cold, steely eyes. But what's behind these people? Just a touch vibrationally out of human sight, behind the painted smile.
Cause chaos and confusion, and to corrupt a few innocent souls. But no, because old Nick, old Harry, old Scratch brings the darkness. Tonight, this is your life.
He is the people's poet, and all the people know it. They've read his published stories in public lavatories, in town and country locals. He's Mr. Antisocial. His violence does the talking. Those boots weren't made for walking.
He's the cold-blooded vulture. He won't respect your culture. He's nothing like a good sound. He's come to burn your bookshelf. He'll cover up your children, destroy what you've been building. And when you're left to suffer, he'll vivisect your mother.
He is the Lord Master of every war disaster, every disease and famine, a piece of cunning planning.
He was in Vietnam. He is the Ku Klux Klan. He was a child catcher. He gave us Margaret Thatcher.
One day the devil was in hiding, for he had created a mirror which made everything good and beautiful reflection in it shrinks to almost nothing, and everything bad and ugly stand out more clearly than ever. All the little imps who went to the devil's school, they ran around with a mirror until there was nowhere and no one but the robbers and the stores with it. The devil was much amused, and the mirror itself grinned wickedly. Then the little imps decided to fly up to heaven to make fun of God and his angels. The higher they carried the mirror, the more it grinned, until it shaking so hard with laughter that it slipped out of their hands and fell to earth, where it broke into millions of pieces. And then it caused even more trouble than before, because all the tiny splinters, scarcely the size of a grain of sand, went flying around the world. And whenever a splinter flew into anyone's eye, it had the same power as the whole mirror, and made people see everything distorted. Sometimes the splinter of glass even entered someone's heart, which was worst of all, but then they practiced all the same thing.
By his right appointment, there'll be no more enjoyment. There will be no more benders. No service will be rendered. The shop will not be open until he's seen you broken. You've got to give him credit. The forman's Norman Tebbit.
Cruelty without beauty, beyond the call of duty, beyond my understanding. I find it so demanding. I wish I could forget it and be more apathetic. It's just it bothers me so, how anyone could be so evil.